In the beginning there were birds. These weren't the dainty little songbirds you think of when you hear the word bird. Oh no, these were big, scary raptors with teeth like daggers and claws like hooks. They had feathers for show, but they were just as comfortable running around on all fours as they were soaring through the air. The most famous of these majestic beasts was none other than Rexy, or Tyrannosaurus rex. She ruled over the dinosaurs like a queen bee. In a hive, no one dared cross her path, not even the mighty Brachiosaurus, the gentle giant who roamed the land like a furry caterpillar. He was so tall that he could reach the tops of the tallest trees, but he was too slow and clumsy to do much about it. So he just stood there and mooed sadly while the birds built their nests in his hair. Now, there was another kind of bird that lived in the forest, smaller and smarter than the rest. These were their brains were big and round like marbles, and their eyes were sharp and bright like shiny buttons. They lived in packs and hunted together, snatching up small animals and each other's babies for fun. And though they might have been small, they were brave enough to take on any predator, including the fearsome T-Rex herself. They knew she wouldn't chase after them if they kept moving, so they would dart around her, squawking and screeching until she got dizzy and fell over. Then they would peck at her eyes and ears until she ran away crying. One day, while the Trudons were playing their favorite game of tag near the river, they spotted something strange floating down from the sky. It looked like a big green balloon with sharp teeth and scaly skin. As it floated closer, they saw that it had wings like a bird, but its body was long and thin like a crocodile. It landed in the water with a splash and slithered onto the bank, hissing angrily. The Trudons were scared, but they were also curious. They had never seen anything like this before, so they crept closer and closer until they could hear what the strange creature was saying. "I am Steve," it hissed, "and I am lost. Can someone please help me find my way home?" The Trudons were surprised. They had expected the creature to be mean and dangerous, but it turned out to be shy and sweet. One of the bravest Trudons named Troy stepped forward. "Sure, I'll help you, Steve," he said. "But where are you from and why did you fly all the way here?" Steve took a deep breath. "I am from a faraway land," he said, "where everyone is kind and helpful. But I got lost on my way here and now I can't get back. I'm so lonely." The Trudons felt sorry for Steve. They had never met a lost bird before, let alone one that was lost and lonely and needed their help. So they decided to help him find his way home. They led him through the forest, over the hills and around the river until they reached a clearing. And there in the distance, they saw a group of birds flapping their wings and making a lot of noise. "Look, Steve," said Troy, "those birds look like you. Why don't you go talk to them?" Steve was so happy. He thanked the Trudons for their help and flew away to join his friends. From that day on, the Trudons never forgot about Steve and his friends. They often wondered what it would be like to live in a faraway land where everyone was kind and helpful. And they started to dream of a world where the fierce and scary predators didn't rule over the land and the weak and helpless animals could roam free without being chased or hunted. Meanwhile, Rexy the T-Rex was busy doing what she loved the most, eating. She had just finished off a whole herd of Triceratops and was looking for more food when she stumbled upon a group of Trudons. She roared and stomped her feet, but the Trudons stood their ground. They pecked and scratched at her legs and arms until she shook them off and ran away. Rexy was furious. She had never been challenged by such tiny creatures before, and she was determined to teach them a lesson. She chased them through the forest, over the hills and around the river, but the Trudons were too quick and agile for her. They dodged and weaved between her sharp teeth and deadly claws, and they kept taunting her with their squawks and screams. Finally, exhausted and humiliated, Rexy collapsed on the ground and gave up the chase. The Trudons stood over her, triumphant and unafraid. They had never beaten a dinosaur before and they were ecstatic. One of the Trudons, a wise old bird named Tony, hopped closer to Rexy and said, "Why don't you stop being mean and scary and just be nice and friendly?" Rexy was confused. She had always been a predator, chasing and eating other animals. She didn't know how to be friendly, but something about Tony's kind eyes and gentle voice made her want to try. From that day on, Rexy became best friends with the Trudons. She learned to play their games and even joined their pack on their hunts. She helped them catch their food and protect their young, and they helped her find new ways to be less hungry and more happy. Together, they roamed the land, not as a queen and her subjects, but as a group of friends who looked out for each other and enjoyed each other's company. And though some dinosaurs still chased and ate other animals, most of them learned to be kind and helpful, just like the Trudons. And the land became a better place for everyone. And that's the end of my story. Or maybe it's just the beginning. Maybe the real story is the friends we made along the way. You know what? I think it is. Thank you for listening to my story. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to hear more stories like this, stay tuned.